I had fear of feeling guilt. So it could be that regret about X, but the thing is, it may also be regret about Y or Z. It could be regret about something else. It might not actually be regret about what she thinks it is. Or it could be. But we are using the words regret. It may not actually be regret. It could be something a little bit different. But I can guarantee you it is well worth spending at least half an hour looking at that. You can work that out and you can solve that. It actually takes energy to suppress emotions. So the more you free yourself from that stuff, the more energy you naturally get. Yeah? So please do spend a bit of time working on that. And everyone I know has a couple of things like that, regret or fear. When we actually sit down and work on it, sometimes it's just half an hour working on it. Sometimes people can work on regret for years or grief for years. And the thing is that they are just working with low quality processes. In neurolinguistic programming, we have some of the best solutions in the world for things like grief, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, addictions. We've got so many great solutions in neurolinguistic programming. I would tell people to go into NLP first. Go through a couple of NLP people if you have to. There is the most amazing things we can do in the NLP. I haven't found anything better than it. If I do, I'll go study it and I'll be in there. Yeah. These things like grief, regret, we should sort them out. You deserve to live a great life. Don't let things like that hold you up for too long. This goal setting thing is absolutely huge. It is powerful. It is dynamic. It is amazing. And as we get into it, you'll see that what we share is totally applicable. One of the greatest problems I got with goals is I believe a lot of what we're taught from goals comes from the sports world. Yeah. And in the sports world, let's take Darko, for example. If Darko is going to the Olympics, what's the priority? Going to the Olympics, winning. To win. How sure are you, Darko? A normal
I'm not sure. I need to work toward my goal.
Yeah. And a normal athlete and coach would be 100% certain we're going for gold. Yeah? Does anyone want to disagree?
Yes.
Cool. It's pretty clear. You're going to the Olympics. We're going for gold. And because we're going for gold in the Olympics, that's our goal. It's clear. It's precise. We're going for gold in the Olympics. Now, the thing is that we're not going for gold in the Olympics. We may be going for losing weight, getting a relationship, making some money, but it's not as clear cut. It's not as clear. Now, if you were going for gold, your health, your money, your family, all that stuff either supports you in getting the gold or Darko, get it the hell out of the way. Darko, as my athlete, Darko, if your kids are getting in the way, push them to the side. It's the Olympics, man. Darko, I'm going to coach you to first place. Your wife gets in the way. Hey, push it to the side. We're going for first place. Darko, we're going for gold. We're getting close for gold. You don't have enough money. Here's some money, man. We got to get you that gold. Yeah? It's clear. But the thing is, in life, Darko probably doesn't want to lose his kids, lose his wife for his goals. So real life for us is far more complex than the sports world. If you're going for a gold medal, traditional goal setting, fine. But if you're looking at your life, there's a few more things to consider, which you could say make it more complicated or makes it more complex, whatever you want to say. My name's Adrian Cahill. I'm your trainer, I'm your coach, whatever you want to say. I got into this coaching world in around I don't know, 2010 or something. A couple of pictures of my background. I get to live on the beach. I've got a 4-bedroom house here. Every bedroom looks straight over the beach. Right there, there's a beach. This stuff in the water is in my front yard. I love what I do. I love my work. I love my kids. I get to go around the world and do what I want. But I've really screwed some things up as well, guys. I've really screwed some things up. Last year, we started this NLP mastery training in Chiang Mai. We've done 2 of these in Bali with about 20 to 25 people and done about 8 of them online. We were supposed to do this training in Chiang Mai in February, but I didn't do adequate goal setting. I made some mistakes and I had to cancel this training. I didn't have to cancel this training. I chose to cancel this training. It was a big mistake. I've lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of time. It was a big deal and I totally screwed it up. So I might be like, yeah, I got a house on the beach. Yeah, I got money and I got my dream. But look, I screwed things up as well. And the reason I decided to pull the plug was for my kids. I pulled the plug because while I was doing some personal development work, I thought about my kids. And a lot of what I do for them. And I didn't want to do the sales and marketing. Do we have another 1 or 2 coaches in the room? And I can see there's at least 1 or 2 more. Is there a coach that likes selling and likes marketing? A lot of coaches don't. When I started NLP, I had a bit of a goal to be an NLP trainer. Yeah? But the thing is I don't like having to sell. Uh-oh, problem. Yeah? Problem. Yeah? And I've got a fantastic solution. So instead of me doing my training, I will, and I still do my training, but I've partnered up with another company. So I've partnered up with a company that does a graduate certificate in NLP. Their program is better, their training is longer, and it's a university recognized qualification. So knowing my values, I was able to go, okay, this training in Bali isn't going to work out, but you know what? I'll work with the graduate certificate program instead. So I now work with the graduate certificate program. I mentor there. I can do extra coaches there. And some people that have come to me, I've gone, hey, don't do my NLP, do the graduate certificate. You can still use me, but and I'll tell you guys why. But if I had created clear enough goals, I might have hit my target. Some areas in life I've done really clear goals and it works, but most of the areas where I haven't had success, I didn't do clear goals. I didn't do enough planning. Think about your own life. Can I have a show of hands? Who has failed to hit a goal in the last year? Or you wanted to do something and didn't hit it? Okay, I saw Ray out. Yeah, okay. All right, great. So I see a few hands up here. So we often set a goal or a target and we don't hit it. Yeah? Have you ever not hit a goal because you've done too much planning? So you've never missed a goal because you've done too much planning. I'm telling you, we miss goals because we don't do enough planning. Yeah, I've never heard someone go, I've missed my goal because I've done too much planning, but I'm sure it can happen. One more example. I was in this training last year. Anyone know Tillman? Tillman Rigg is one of the main coaches up in Shanghai. I went to this training with him. This is non-violent communication training. Non-violent communication is a bunch of strategies to enhance your ability to communicate. when I was at this training, it was great. I was at this training last July and I went, I am going to practice this. I wrote it down in my journal, practice NVC. But that's all I did. I wrote down practice nonviolent communication, NVC. That was it. That's all I wrote down. But 6 months later, I had a look and I went, oh, hang on. I didn't practice any NVC. But you know what? I totally hit my goal here. I hit my goal. Why did I want to practice NVC? This non-violent communication in the picture, this is communication about coming from the heart space, being soft, being caring. The reason I wanted to practice non-violent communication was so that I could be softer and more compassionate with my children. So the non-violent communication was so I could be compassionate for my children. 6 months later, I realized I have not practiced NVC, but I have gotten more compassionate with my children. So something we're going to talk about is all our goals have an underlying intention. Who would like to be a multimillionaire? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, please use the chat window here as well or speak out loud. For what purpose? For what purpose? A multimillionaire for what purpose? I'm not asking you why, because why often goes to a reason. For what purpose? A multimillionaire for what purpose? Jay, do a lot more to make the world a better place. Cool. And financial independence for Ray, to build a house for my family, for myself, to start my own companies, to help. As the leader for myself. So no one wants to make multi-million dollars so you can sleep on a bed of money? No, we don't want the bed of money. What we want, you're seeing in the chat window. Sunny wants to study abroad. Estrelita wants to share it with her family. Femina, financial freedom, less stress. Johnny, for his family and for security. Darko, financial freedom. Now, I'm going to pick on Darko and Ray for a second. I think you both said financial freedom. Financial freedom for what reason? Or for what purpose? Financial freedom for what? So whenever anyone says they want something, there's typically a further purpose. Like, I want a Big Mac. Well, for what purpose? Because I'm hungry and I want food. Okay, for what purpose? Oh, I haven't had lunch and it's like 2 o'clock. For what purpose? I'm bored. That happens sometimes. People eat sometimes because they're bored. Yeah? They have all these reasons, like it's 2 o'clock, it's lunchtime, but sometimes you'll actually find that people are bored. That's why they're eating. Yeah? Does that sound like a good strategy? Bored eating? That's not a good strategy. And then going from bored to this long line of reasons. Yeah, that's not a good strategy either. If we understand that I want a Big Mac because I'm hungry, because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I'm actually bored, there's like 3 false reasons before the actual reason. Now, when we have these things, or we have a string of things before the actual intention, we're going to get complicated and we're not going to get what we really want. So when we understand our intention, okay, when we understand our intention, so Jesus written out his real intention here was, Ray would like to be a multi-millionaire so he can be financially free. Financially free because being independent enables him to focus on other goals without stressing where the money is coming from. Yeah? So Ray's deeper reason, he might say financial independence, but really it's about having less stress. It's about having less stress and able to focus on other things in life. Cool. And that's interesting. Less stress, and to focus on other things in life. Okay, let me see if I can go. So we often have a lot of different things we want to do. We may have many different goals and targets. Yeah. A question for you. Darko, I'm going to make you a co-host, and can you really quickly make 2 breakout rooms, or make one breakout room, please, Darko. Put 7 people in that breakout room. Keep 7 people here.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to put 7 people in the breakout room and use a lot of the people with cameras on in the breakout room. So we'll have 7 or so people in the breakout room, and the rest will stay here, and we'll have a 2-minute discussion about this question. And just as Darko, you do it as soon as you're ready. And everyone, if you were planning a holiday, how much detail would you plan? Hit the breakout room when you can, Darko. I know, I would plan every single detail. Whenever you can, Darko. Just...
I cannot, because it opens room 1 and put all the people there.
Aye, cool. I am going to very quickly make a breakout room, and what I'd like to see is... Okay. Now we're going to go into the rooms and we're going to discuss this question here. So understand what's on the screen. If you're planning a holiday, how much detail would you plan? What would you plan and what wouldn't you plan? You're going to go into your room, and for 3 minutes, you're going to discuss this, and then we come back here, okay? I'll open and close the room. Okay, the room is open. 6 people are going to jump in that room, and excellent. Okay, so for those that have stayed in this room, what would you plan?
Destination, I guess. First important thing.
Destination.
Yeah.
Like a budget for everything, like how much I'm going to spend for transportation, for eating out, souvenirs.
For everything?
Like not everything, but like how much I'm going to spend for transportation and souvenirs, maybe eating out.
Someone else?
Booking and accommodation.
Sorry, Ray, then Johnny. Ray, then Johnny Ray.
Okay, so just a general idea of what I'm going to have a look at: flight and hotel for the first few days. If I need to move somewhere else, some other location, I just plan the hotel in the other places. I do minimal planning. So I like to go in the place and see what's there to see, and then move around, and then that's it.
All right. Hey, was that Jackie talking a minute ago?
Sorry, that was me. That was me.
Yeah, maybe it's best Jackie and Ray don't go traveling together, because Ray's like a minimalist plans, and Jackie's figuring out the budget for stuff. And both ways are totally okay. Now, Johnny Ray, what about you, mate? What would you plan and what wouldn't you plan?
I plan about ticket, transportation, accommodation, and where to go, and some more small details,
Yeah.
even necessities.
Yep. Shinyi.
I did. Yeah, just something more about the destination. I mean, if I were planning a trip, I would think about what kind of destination I want to go, not just the place where I want to go, but also what do I want to get out of it? Is it for is it for culture or is it for just natural? What do I want to get out of it? It's just for relaxing in nature or something like that. And that depends on where I want to go with them. There.
Nice, very nice. And what wouldn't you plan?
Like too much details, like daily itinerary, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, someone else share. What wouldn't you plan?
What wouldn't?
What wouldn't you plan?
Wouldn't plan the weather. I wouldn't plan the weather or if the airplane will crash.
I guess you cannot plan the
Sorry.
weather really.
Yeah, I
It's
can't plan the
unpredictable.
weather or if the airplane is gonna crash or if the boat is gonna sink or whatever. That's beyond my control. But whatever is within our control, we will try and plan as much, I guess.
I guess you wouldn't think of anything that is going to be stressful because it's a holiday. So in your mind, you're only planning for things that are positive, like joining activities, going out and eat. Not really. At least that's what I think. Nothing really negative, like miscellaneous kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest mistakes I see is people planning for the negative things to happen. Like, I hope the plane isn't late. I hope the plane, and over and over and over and over and over again, they keep repeating to themselves, I hope the plane isn't late, you know, and then, yeah. But why wouldn't you guys plan some stuff? And Ray, you're only planning the first 3 days?
Yeah, sometimes even less than that. Basically, I have a general idea of what's in the place. So let's say Armenia. I went to Armenia. I wanted to go to Mount Ararat trekking, and then I wanted to see a couple of monasteries. But then, I got there and I found out that Mount Ararat actually is in Turkey, so I couldn't cross there because it's occupied. And then, there was like this driver outside the hotel. Basically, I just asked him to take me around to a few places in the region. That's how I spent the week.
Mm. Okay. So why wouldn't, and from the group that just came back, what's the biggest reason for why wouldn't you plan something?
It's unplannable, I guess. Part of the reason.
Okay, unplannable. So some things are
Unpredictable.
unplannable.
Yeah.
But now Ray here's
Because
Ray only wants to book the first days.
Because you don't want to
because
overthink.
it's a holiday. So, what's the point of having like a second job to plan for the holiday? You're not going to relax.
You don't want to overthink as well, because if you overthink, you get stressed, and then the holiday will not be, as you want it to be.
Yeah,
So
and
there
if
are
I go
some
and I find
things.
that some attractions are closed, I just go somewhere else. Like in first time I went in Cambodia, everything was closed because there was like this holiday birthday of the king and everything. So I just did something else.
Yeah.
Well-
But also there's also old wisdom that life never really unfolds as you plan. So like, why wasting so much energy, planning every detail? It's gonna be a waste of time.
It's not just going to be a waste of time now. It could be even bigger than that. It could be even bigger than that. Now, let's say we're talking about our life. Yeah. Now, when it comes to a holiday, we've got such varying differences between us. No wonder couples complain and couples have arguments, right? Or friends even, for that matter. Yeah, even here, some people want to plan in detail. Some people only want to plan the first day or two. Someone in our group said they only want to plan the location. No. So some people like to plan a lot. Some people like to plan a little, right? And there is value in not planning everything because of the mystery and the spice of life. Yeah. And you'll hear the occasional story. Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, super comedian. He wrote out on some piece of paper something along the lines. I want to get this a bit wrong. He wrote out a goal to make $12 million or something. And then he made $12 million. And he thinks, wow, why did I limit myself to 12? Yeah. So over planning can be a limitation. But if I really, really, really plan, now let's take Chiang Mai. Let's say I really, really plan something, right? What happens if you don't succeed? What happens if you don't succeed? You know what? I'm just going to not plan to totally avoid that. I'm going to avoid planning so that I don't fail. Make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So if we really,
Sometimes when we
yeah, Darko.
sometimes when we do not reach our goals, then we can start self-blaming and go into that process, which is not much pleasant.
Yeah.
So it seems we need to be more open, I guess. We have the goal, but to be okay if something come along the way.
Yeah. So now if we were planning to have a great life, wouldn't we have a plan? But then how much would we actually plan? And what wouldn't we plan? Now you're going to find some more nuggets, and your nuggets, or I hope your nuggets are going to come up unless you've already had them. If you've had them, wonderful. We're looking at well-formed outcomes, and a well-formed outcome is like a good enough plan. Yeah. Well-formed outcomes is a process of defining what we actually want. Imagine, it says right there, walking into a travel agency and you tell them, I don't want fancy hotels. What does a travel agent say?
Why do you want to have my service?
Oh, well, because I don't want to be lost. So, Jackie, I don't want fancy hotels. Can you help me?
I guess I would just narrow it down to, well, do you want to stay in a hostel? Do you want to stay like
I don't want to
often-
stay in a hostel.
So I would have to try to like moderate and get your moderate accommodations and maybe show you a map or give you a price range.
Well, I don't want hostels. And yeah. Can you help me?
Yeah, it would just be like I just saw in the chat, maybe the 3-star or 4-star. I would start to narrow it
I
down.
don't want 3-star and I don't want 4-star. You'd probably say
I would make a good traveling. Yeah, I would get frustrated.
You'd get frustrated of me, right? Right? Now, this happens all the time in coaching. Yeah, and this probably happens all the time with your friends and family too. And you don't have to be a coach to benefit from this. This you can use for yourself and you can use for your friends. You can use this for your family. There are a lot of people, and I would say over half, walk down the street and they keep saying to themselves what they don't want. Yeah? Yeah? I don't want to be a drug addict. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to be single. I don't want to be with this. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want whatever, right? Now, you walk into a grocery store and say, hey, I don't want eggs. They're going to be like, what? I don't want toilet paper. Huh? I don't want tissues. Huh? What the hell? This guy is weird. I want bananas. Okay, go down there, sir. Go down there. The bananas are first on the left. All right. Oh, sorry. I want organic bananas. Okay, they're just a bit further on the left. when we clarify what we want, things are so much easier, right? So the first part, step one, is getting to what we want. And this might seem small, guys, but this is a big difference. Now, yeah, a lot of people go down the street and they're focused on what they don't want. And they might also go like, I'm not like them. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. Yeah. In some other personal development work, when we work on ourselves, some people might dissociate from people. Yeah. I came back to Australia once and I'm like, oh, I'm not like those Australians. I'm not like those Australians. I went to a place I used to work and I'm like, oh, I'm not like them anymore. I'm not like them anymore. So I was walking down the street and I was like nothing. It was really lonely. In actual truth, I was a little bit like them, a little bit like them, a little bit like them, a little bit like them. We've all got roughly 10 fingers, 2 hands, right? If we over disidentify with the things we don't want or we can be really lost. Yeah, so it's okay to say I'm not like that or I don't want that. That's okay. I think it's a lot better if we can say I don't want that, I want that. Okay? I don't want shitty bananas. I want farm bananas. Yeah? I don't want a hostel, but I would like budget. Yeah? I don't know where I want to go, but I want to go somewhere fun. Yeah? Or Xinyu, he had a really good point in our group. What did you say about, remember what you said? What do I want?
Destination? I said about destination, what kind of experience or what kind of travel experience I'm looking for. I want to get out of this.
That's one of the key questions is what do I actually want, or a higher intention? What do I want bananas for? What do I want a holiday for? What do I want budget accommodation for? Yeah. I got a couple of rental properties, right? And I had some people come and they were saying they couldn't afford it. And the thing was, is they totally could. They would just focus on what they couldn't do. So there was a room in the house that was very big and they said they couldn't afford it. There's another side of the house where there's 2 bedrooms and a lounge room. So I said, hey, what about that side? There's 2 bedrooms and a lounge room. So we definitely can't afford it. And I'm like, yeah, think deeper. You sure you can't afford it? They're like, yeah, you can't afford it. There's 2 bedrooms and a lounge. That's great, you know, but we can't afford it. Well, easy. You've got friends, rent out the second room to a friend, and now it's a lot cheaper. But they weren't thinking it like that. They weren't thinking about the goal. They weren't thinking about their outcome. They were too busy focused on their limitations. So many entrepreneurs are focused on their limitations. Yeah. I would like to be a coach, but I don't have enough skills. Yeah. I want this, but I don't have that. Yeah. The more we focus on what we actually want, the more it can manifest. If you want to become a coach, maybe wanting to become a coach is a bit too big at the moment. So focus down. Maybe you want the next step. Maybe you want your first client. Maybe you want your first process, and you really focus on that. Yeah. As soon as you take your focus to what you don't want, oh, I don't want tire kickers, you know, I don't want time wasters. Where focus goes, energy flows. Yeah. And that is just part of the universe, the way it works. Wherever we put our attention, energy goes there. So if you don't know how to become a coach and you focus on the whole thing, it might be too big. You focus on the next step, and suddenly that next step becomes manageable. And I'm sure you've been to these places, whether it's Macau or in Italy or in some of these temples where you have all the stairs and you look up the top and there's a long way up those stairs. But all you really need to do is focus on the stairs right in front of you. You don't need to worry about the 100th step. You just need to worry about the next step, right? So we can always focus on those steps. And if we train ourselves to focus on those steps, we'll get more proficient at doing the steps. But there is this innate thing people have of focusing on what they can't do, focusing on their weaknesses, yeah? I don't know if it comes from school or what. So as a coach and for my friends, the first time they tell me they want something or they don't want something, I get them to focus on what they actually want. Well-formed outcomes are framed in the positive. I want X, yeah? Now, I want is what we call a towards goal. Want peace, want love, want joy, want excitement, want safety. And we have our away from goals. Yeah, we're moving away from fear. We all have both motivation. We have the motivation towards wonderful things and away from things we don't want. Yeah? This is making very good sense for everyone. Yeah, nothing super new yet. Now, some people will get all this. Some people, this will be a little bit new. We all have our away from things like, let's say the house was on fire. If your house is on fire, your body, your whole system is going to go, get out of there, get away. Yeah. So your house is on fire, you get away from there. Yeah. It's just an automatic thing. Away from motivation tends to like push us a little bit. Yeah. Towards motivation, on the other hand, pulls us. Yeah. Couple of examples. Yeah. A winning lottery ticket. A really beautiful woman or a really high status man or something might pull us towards it. Yeah. Someone who knows our deepest fear, might push us away. Yeah. So we all have these, and it's okay to have away from motivation. What I've seen in my work is some people are largely in the away from area. These people are typically moving just above the poverty threshold. Yeah. So they have no money, they're struggling, they get some money from work, they're happy. Yay, happy, I got paid. A week or two later, the money's down. Get up, yep. And a lot of the away from people, their main driver is moving away from poverty or away from loneliness, away from the fears, yeah? So people that are often like low achievement. Now, some of these people might want to be coaches and healers. I meet a lot of healers over here. They've got really great intentions, but they're largely away from driven. So they want to heal the world. They start to heal, they move towards what they really want in life, and then suddenly the fear. And they come back down, yeah? And they come up, they get confidence, they try again, and then a client doesn't show up or something happens and, they come back down. So they often just end up fluctuating around just doing enough, you know? They have the towards, like, I want to heal the world. I want to heal the world. I want to make it a better place. And then something happens, right? Like they got to close a deal, push to get the client to close or something. And then they end up, you know, maybe they're going to think bad of me if I ask them for money. Maybe they're not going to like me. Yeah. So they end up over here battling with fear, battling with the shame of, I'm a bad person because I got to ask for money, or I'm guilty because I took that person's money and I didn't deliver them the result. And people may actually circle around these away from, and they spend a lot of time dealing with the stuff they don't want. And a lot of people really seem to live over here. Congratulations, you can move over here. You can move to a place where you're more focused on what I actually want to create in life. Love, peace, excitement, and joy. Yeah. What I see is most people, when they live over here, they still have the fear. They still have guilt and shame in that, but they're mainly focused on their towards goals. Picture someone like Elon Musk. Yeah. Part of him may have a weight. He may have some shame and shadows from the past, but he's also largely focused on Mars, right? Doing bigger things generally takes more towards motivation, and you can shift your personality. We want as much as we can towards, but we all have the two of them. I made a couple of ones different here. A big away from value people tend to have is uncertainty. We don't do a lot of things because we have uncertainty. People would rather be in a certain relationship, let's say a toxic relationship, where they have the certainty, but it's toxic. People would prefer, because they've got this level of certainty. Even though there's toxicity, they have a level of certainty. So people may stay in toxic relationships way too far because they get certainty from it, and they want to move towards certainty in their relationship. They don't want the uncertainty of being single. They want the certainty, so they might end up in a toxic relationship. Yeah, and never blame the partner. It's always self. A toxic relationship is between two chemicals or two people. It's the relationship that's toxic, not left or right. Right? So uncertainty is a big one, something you can all work on, and this is absolutely wonderful. Work on your comfort with uncertainty. The more you're comfortable with uncertainty, the further you'll go in life. Has anyone gone on an international trip by themselves? Fantastic, guys. Absolutely fantastic. I was coaching this awesome woman, Didi. Didi couldn't afford the coaching, but I gave her a big discount because I just loved her energy. After a couple of months, Didi started to go to events and even started her own events. Just a little bit of coaching. Had a call with her about 9 months later. She went to bloody Vietnam by herself. Yeah, she never traveled by herself. Suddenly she started. You know, it didn't take much at all for her to get comfortable with uncertainty. Yeah, she still maybe didn't like some of it, but she changed her relationship with uncertainty. So I have uncertainty in my life. How do I relate to that? How do you relate to uncertainty? Do you avoid it? Okay. How do you relate to things like fear? Do you avoid it? Oh, I avoid it. When I'm in a good state or when I have Darko, I may get coached on it. And I actually found recently, and I do want to share this, I was feeling some fear. I was feeling fear towards feeling guilt. I was feeling fear towards experiencing guilt. I was actually afraid of feeling guilty of doing something. Yeah? Good, I can see Jackie's face. Jackie's processing, I'm what? Yeah? So let's say this thing was closing the deal. I wasn't afraid of closing the deal. I was feeling guilty if I closed the deal and they didn't get an ROI, return on investment. So if they don't get an ROI, I'm going to feel guilty, and I'm afraid of closing a deal if I feel a fear of guilt. Yeah? Emotions can get more complicated. And it's even more complicated if we break that up with trips to the fridge, procrastination strategies, distractions. It's an absolutely chaotic mess. But when you actually sit down in like an NLP or a coaching session, you can actually figure it out. Yeah. So when we figured it out, it was like, okay, I'm actually afraid of feeling guilty of. Great. So I work with the emotion of guilt. And then when I work with the emotion of fear, it was a piece of cake. Keep that. Don't keep that in the back of your mind. That won't be relevant for the rest of the session. But for anyone that does coaching or does your own work, that's going to be incredibly valuable, right? People are often afraid or feel sad because of their own emotions, not reality. Some people might have values such as doing hard work. Does anyone have I don't want to do hard work? I totally did. I worked on a farm when I was a teenager. When I was 18, 19, I went from working on a farm to building, and I did really hard physical work. And because of that hard physical work, I said, I am not going to do hard physical work all my life. I had bad kind of dreams, and I had really good motivation not to do hard work. So I moved towards financial freedom because I wanted to avoid hard physical work for the rest of my life. I no longer have to do hard physical work. So that was interesting. Someone might say their value is not doing hard work, but there's actually some other value that could describe it better. Values are like a feeling or a state. Yeah. Any questions about that? We all have a way we have towards. This is important to consider when you're considering a well-formed outcome. You can use the away. You can use the away. You can use towards. We want to use both.
I have a burning question to ask. How do I figure out what I really want in life?
Good. You figure that out through having life.
What does it mean?
Through living. I don't think we can really figure it out up here. We can do a little bit up here, but we got to actually experience life with more and more awareness.
Yeah. You know, my life experience has taught me what I don't really like doing in the past. You know, it never dawns on me like what exactly the thing that I want in my life. When your life experience is all about your I don't know, failure or frustration about something. Then but through living, what you don't really like or what you're not really good at. But how do I know what I really want? I mean, sometimes it's very confusing because just by thinking about it, you cannot be quite sure.
Sorry if you guys noticed me getting a bit excited. I actually love that question. This isn't a question on purpose, but figuring out what we really want is the name of the game. So when we have things we don't want, like relationship that went bad, business that went bad, whatever it is went bad, we can use that to help figure out what we do want. Yeah?
Okay.
The mother of my children, I don't like XYZ, but what I do like is that she was committed to making the best life for the children. So I like that quality. What I want in an intimate partner is someone that is good with children. Yeah?
Mm.
Now, the mother of my children, she also prioritized taste. Taste is really important. I don't prioritize that. And I want someone that prioritizes health.
Mm.
Healthy food is more important than tasty food. So the relationships that don't work out, the businesses that don't work out, we can reflect back and find what we do really want from that. Yeah. As I mentioned, we may have fear towards guilt or anger. I have anger, but I'm angry because underneath I'm sad. And I experience this sometimes. Sometimes I'm angry, and a deeper truth is I'm feeling sad. So the more I can get to the deeper truth, the more I can figure out a deeper purpose. Yeah? Now, this might apply to someone else, it might not. But the part of you that may be seeking is the part you may be looking for. The deeper part that's seeking may be the part you're actually looking for. Those that
Is there-
are
So-
questioning it, when you question yourself and you question your purpose and you question what you're doing in life, I think fantastic. However, should maybe be in a container. I wouldn't want to go through the whole life going, what do I really want? Not through my whole life, right? But questioning what's important allows us to figure that out. Has anyone here had a midlife crisis? Or sorry, a midlife opportunity? Midlife opportunity. I've had maybe 2 or 3 of them. They're fantastic. I'm going along life, something happens, you know, divorce or something bad happens, you know, and suddenly I stop and I really start to question myself. That questioning myself could be seen as uncertainty. And a lot of people don't like that uncertainty. I don't like some of that uncertainty. I don't like when I question myself sometimes, but the questioning ourselves is often setting ourselves up for a higher level of being. We naturally progress through life. When we're kids, it's about chocolate, candy, video games, and fun. We get to our teens, it's about friends, relationships, being cool. Yeah? When we're in our 20s, it might be about the birds and the bees and having fun. In our 30s, some of us have kids, some of us don't. So when we hit this point of 30s, 40s, 50s, the direction is really uncertain. It's really easy when we're in primary school because what's our purpose? High school. What's our purpose? University. What's our purpose? Getting laid. What's our purpose? Finding the one, getting a house, you know. But once we get to, I don't know, maybe 30 or something, it's like, oh, I've got the university degree. May or may not have a house, may or may not have a partner, but where is my life going to take me? So the question about our life is really easy for the first 30 years, but after that, yeah, it does branch out. But those that question themselves will evolve further. So you have this simple evolution, you know, up to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and then 30 is like, whoa. Some people say the personality is still developing until we get to about 28, 30, whatever, right? So at 30, that means your personality stopped developing, according to those people. I don't believe it, but anyway, we do keep developing because I can guarantee if you're 35 and suddenly you lose your kids or you lose your arm, it's going to change your personality, right? Yeah. So by questioning yourself, you're giving yourself the uncertainty, but you're also maturing more. Yeah. You're figuring out what you want. You're going up higher levels of the spectrum. Now, as you figure out what you want, you're taking in more and more life experiences. And for those of us that do things like this workshop, NLP, coaching, hypnosis, any of this personal development or spiritual stuff like a church, your development will keep going. And as your development goes further, your purpose in life will change, will definitely change, and will keep changing. So perhaps a good, well-formed outcome could be figuring out who is the next you, who is the next level of you that you're going to get to. Now, I'm going to shut up for a second. Anyone want to add any comments? Leah, thanks for turning on your camera. On the train to Zurich, I believe. Anybody want to throw in any comments before we cruise on? So let's say I have a client or a friend. They're not too sure what they want. You're not too sure what you want? Okay, great. Let's figure out what you want. We want to get a well-formed outcome. We want an outcome that is towards, I want to lose weight, or I want to make XX dollars, or I want to find a partner, whatever that is. That's better. Now we are walking into a travel agency. Hey, Jackie, I want to go hostels, budget style. Now Jackie's like, yeah, he knows what he wants. So what does Jackie say? Well, great. What country? Yeah. So the first step, we want to put it into the positive. Yeah. Rather than avoiding all that stuff, what do we actually want to focus on? what do we actually want to focus on? A fun holiday. A fun holiday, hostels, lots of beer, lots of whiskey, maybe some marijuana if we're in Thailand. No. But we're going towards, and now we start to get more and more defined. Now, you've all heard this before, I'm totally sure. In my school, we had the 5 W's and a H. Who, what, where, when, why, how. You could use that model if you like. Some people have the SMART model or the SMARTer or SMART practice. There is no limit to it. When we are in our training and we do well-formed outcomes, if I know all the measurements, my coach may focus on other stuff. The idea is to flesh out more and more detail on what the outcome is. So it's not just losing weight. It's not just making $1 million. Yeah. It's, I want to make $1 million a year. I want to be doing this by 2026. I'm going to keep my relationships, keep my friends. Yeah. The more detail we flesh out, oh, hang on, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. The money's a bit too high, the kids. Okay. I want to make $500,000 a year. No, I want to make $200,000 a year. It's a bit more achievable. No, maybe 2027. Right? So this is actually the process of starting to flesh out the details. This is the planning. This specific part right here is the planning. So it's in the positive. It's in the positive. Now we got to flesh out more details. You can use any of these questions, and we are going to do it right now. So we got all these kinds of questions. We have the SMART practice questions. But what about the bigger picture? What do you want it for? What do you want it for? Yeah. Remember we said about Darko, he wants to make he wants to win first place. He wants to win the gold medal. Well, what about his family? What about his kids? In our life, it doesn't quite work that way. Do you want to sacrifice your health to make the money? Anybody here prepared to sacrifice all of their health? No. Are you prepared to sacrifice a little bit of health? Little bit. How little? Hey, I'm prepared to sacrifice a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. Yeah? Very often I'll have a client, new business, $1 million targets, but at the same time, they're on the edge of divorce. If you're pursuing $1 million target and you get divorced, what happens then? What happens when you get a divorce? Well, maybe
usually bankruptcy.
Usually bankruptcy. Now, what else happens, Jay? You lose a ton of money?
Lose focus, usually lose the desire. Life becomes complicated, emotional. There's quite a lot of things that actually interfere with the process.
It's not just the money. Those other things, and trust from someone that's been there, I once heard when I got divorced the first time, oh my God, I lost what Jay said, my focus. I didn't even give a damn. It took me 5 years to care about money again. I took the half that I had left. And so if someone has a big goal, we got to consider the even bigger picture. You really do not want to get divorced or lose your limbs, yeah, or get hugely obese or lose your eyesight or something, you know. We got to step back and take the bigger picture. This is where most goal setting goes wrong. But the last time I was in an untrained seminar, November So October, I was in a seminar and the speakers were saying, set a big, hairy, audacious goal. It comes from Tony Robbins, a big, hairy, audacious goal. That goal is super important. Well, hang on, not if you lose your friends and family along the way. Now, some of you guys might remember, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. You got this thing called the wheel of life, and you might want to consider all your areas of life. And if one area is really low, it's going to cause you problems. So we might want to go for balance, but balance isn't a matter of being center. Balance isn't being in the middle. Have you guys heard these things like towards away or masculine and feminine? It's not about being in the middle. Watch this bit. Masculine, feminine. Some people aim to be in the middle. You don't want to be. You want to be wherever you are. You want to include the whole circle. There are times in my life I'm more masculine. There's times in my life I'm more feminine. Wholeness is including the whole lot. Balance is sometimes masculine, sometimes feminine. Balance is walking left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And you could say, I'm out of balance the whole time. Walking is just a matter of getting back into balance. Yeah. Some people actually learn these models, masculine, feminine, and they try to be in the middle. Guilty. Trying to be in the middle. I was rejecting way out here, rejecting way out there. Don't reject, include. Yeah? Okay. Now, it takes a bit of time to create a well-formed outcome. Yeah? When I pack to go on a trip, what happens if you go on a trip and you pack really, really fast? Forget things. Yeah? When I go on a trip, I'll start packing 2 days beforehand. When I get home from a trip, I'll unpack straight away. Being organized takes a bit more time up front, but it creates a better experience in the medium and long run. But that planning, that preparing, it only takes a bit of extra time at the start. It only takes extra time at the start. If you're getting your desk organized, yeah, once you get your desk organized once, the second time you do it, it's easier. The third time it's easier, and maybe it stays organized. For me, I had a cheat. I was in the army. When I was in the army, when I started, we would have our weapon and we would have this webbing around us. We had these pouches that would sit around us. Yeah? Here are my magazines for my gun. Here are more magazines for my gun. In the back is my raincoat. On the side here, I might have hand grenades, and if I have a 9mm, it's on this side. So with my webbing, I have it packed a certain way. At night time, I can find everything because I know where it is. If my buddy has an accident, I know where his grenades are. I know where his rounds are. I know where his is. So all of us in the army, we do the same thing with our webbing. Magazines, maybe grenades. For those that have a 9mm, goes on that side, yeah? Raincoat in the back. We all do it the same way. It takes a little bit more time at the start, but only at the start. Clear? I went on this coaching course. It was about $10,000 coaching course. The very first thing the trainer had us do was organize a couple of folders on the computer. She said, a folder for this, a folder for that, a folder for that. The very first thing we did in the course, prepare empty folders. Whenever you get stuff that's relevant, you put it in the folders. That's what she said. Okay, so organized. It takes a bit more time at the start, but only at the start. Because you know this, you guys have all seen this, right? Levels of learning. Once you do this a couple of times, you get to mastery far easier. Yeah. The first time takes more work, but stick to it. Stick to it. Okay. Plus, when you plan a little bit and have a well-planned outcome or a well-formed outcome, you're more likely to love the process. Okay, you guys would have seen this 2 weeks ago as well. It fits in perfectly. My daughter made one of these slides. Yeah, there we go. This is the slide my daughter made. Flashback. You guys remember doing this a couple of weeks ago? Okay. For those that have never seen it, this is like the wheel of life. This is my way of doing a wheel of life. See, step 1, pick 7 to 10 areas or values that are important to you. So I get everybody to pick out about 7 to 10 of these that are important to you, right? And then you rate 1 to 10 in how important it is, 10 being super important, yeah? And then we rate how well we're actually performing, and we do little ideas on how to improve each area. I think this workshop might have been the first one in January. So with this way, you, rather than doing a basic wheel of life, you just use a piece of paper. Each thing you can write out, like health, fitness. Well, you know what? I'm just going to write health, career, work. And you write these out and you give yourself a score. But we're going to do something a tad different. If you want to do that, just ask Estrelita and we can send it through. We can share this through, right? But what I want to do here is I want you to focus on one area. One area. So you could do a wheel of life, but I want you guys to pick one area. Have you picked one area? Wealth, love, family, friends. Pick one area. My friend Michael, he's going to pick money. Okay, money. Well, pick money. Could someone share with me their goal or their area?
For me,
Hi,
it is
Derek.
business.
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 Okay, so everyone pick one goal or one area. Business. Darko pick business. Great. More specifically, Darko, if you think about business, you think about this business goal, what would it look like? What would it look like if you got it? So think about your goal. What would it look like if you actually got your goal? Visualize it. What does it actually look like?
It is very exciting.
Very exciting. Excellent.
Yes.
Darko, could you actually step into it and imagine you're there now successfully achieving that goal?
Yes.
What do you want it for? Or what's your higher intention?
Right. Yes, financial freedom and accomplishment.
Yeah. Are these intentions met?
When I'm going to be there in the picture?
Yeah.
When I'm there, yes, they're met.
Yep. Are there consequences?
Yes, there are some good consequences, some not so good consequences.
Considering that, is this goal worth pursuing?
Yes.
Great. Let's move on and do well-formed outcome for that, Darko. So Darko, if you could just take a minute with your pen and paper could you just consider making that into a well-formed outcome? As in, who, what, where, when, why, how? Or use SMART, S-M-A-R-T. Okay? Thanks, Darko. Okay. Now, you don't have to tell us, but who else has a goal here? Who's got a goal? Ray, you got a goal?
Yeah.
Okay, great. You don't have to tell us, man. You don't have to tell us, but I want you to imagine what it would look like if you really got your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Look around. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel?
It's easy because I'm almost about to achieve it, so I'm almost there.
I just want you to step into it.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you want this goal for? You don't have to say it out loud, but you know what you want it for. You got your higher intention. That's what you want it for. Is that higher intention met?
Yeah.
Okay, and what are the consequences? Again, you don't need to say it out loud. Just look at the consequences. Now, consequences, both good and bad. Consequences, both good and bad. Great. Now, Ray, you go on and do a well-formed outcome. This is the part, this is one of the key parts, Tony Robbins and the last big seminar I was in, they missed this bit out, yeah? Now, this company I was with, right, they're doing the training, they're like, okay, set a big goal, $5 million. Now, I look at the $5 million and go like, okay, what's the higher intention of that money? So I have financial freedom. Okay, great. Now, if I get that, am I going to have financial freedom? Yeah. But what are the consequences? Well, the consequences, I'm going to have this money, I'll have these connections. Oh, I've got some bad consequences. I'm actually going to lose. I'm going to lose financial independence on the way. I'm going to lose a lot of time. I'm not going to spend time with my kids. You know what? Screw that goal. I'm not going to smart that. I'm not going to smart that goal. I'm not going to look any further at it. See, sometimes it's better not to pursue them. Some goals, in fact, most goals are probably best not pursued. Yeah? Now, Darko here, he really wants to grow a business. If Darko had the idea I had once of being a yoga instructor, if Darko goes off and be a yoga instructor, that's going to take so much time and energy. He may get better physical health, but he's not going to be able to pay the rent. So great idea, leave it behind. We have a lot of great ideas, but if the goal has, if we got a mismatch in this early part, don't even go any further. If you don't get this part working out, don't go further. Don't make a smart goal if you're not prepared to handle the consequences. Don't make a goal if achieving that goal doesn't give you what you really want. Yeah? Now, I'll give you two more examples of this. A friend of mine drinks a lot and he wants to stop drinking. But he works in a bar. His girlfriend drinks. Everyone around him drinks. Do you think he's going to be able to quit drinking with all these people drinking around him and his girlfriend? We got to figure out a new way. Then maybe he can quit, but you're going to have to change a lot of the environment as well. Yeah. Example 2, making X dollars. But the consequences, maybe losing family, maybe losing friends, maybe getting overweight. Not worth pursuing. Yeah. I hear this from people with dating. They want to find the one. They want to find the one. So they go on Tinder and start rooting a bloke or some Sheila next door. Yeah? I want to find the one. The first person I date, I screw. Huh? Happens all the time. Yeah? Anyone back that up? I really want to find the one, but I jump onto the first person I can find. Yeah? And try to make that work for a week. So the thing with the well-formed outcomes is we want it in the positive. We want to be aware of the bigger picture. And in that bigger picture, are our intentions met? Are the consequences manageable? If they are, move forward into the SMART goal. Okay, so step 1, in the positive. Step 2, take a bigger picture. Take a bigger picture. Consider, what's the higher intention? Are those intentions met? What are the consequences? Yeah, if this all lines up, go for it. If it doesn't, fix it right here. There is no point doing SMART goals on an unecological goal. Okay. Now, when we have our goal, then we figure out the SMART. Now, we might figure out SMART. We might add an ER to it. What I mean there is we have our standard SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, or realistic, time-bound. Yeah. That some people add an ER on the end: ecology, resources. One of my trainers made SMART practice. And with SMART practice, the P, the R, A, C, T, I, all those extra letters, it's all acronyms. There's an indefinite amount of planning you can then do in the SMART goal. You can spend 20 minutes figuring out a SMART goal or 2 hours. Jay will tell you in some of our classes, we start a process and sometimes we take a couple of weeks before we finalize it. We look at our values and we spend a couple of weeks because we look at the goal or the values in a greater context. It's great for me to be in a workshop with highly motivated people and set a SMART goal. This happens in Tony Robbins and these things, right? You're in a 6-day rock show, you set a SMART goal, then you go back home and you get to the home environment. You also have a range of emotional states. And in those range of emotional states at home, everything falls apart. Happens all the time. So with your SMART goals, right, if you're in a coaching session, you may do it on a spot. But if they're for your life purpose or your job or your partner, you might take a couple of weeks to go through it. That's okay. That's okay. Some days I'm highly motivated and going for millions. Some days I don't want to get out of bed. I'll tell you the truth, the days I stay in bed, incredibly limited. I don't think I ever want to stay in bed anymore. But days where I'm not motivated, yeah, I get them. And we've got to consider that because we're not looking at creating a phenomenal goal. We're looking at creating a phenomenal life. We're looking at creating a phenomenal life. So this exercise is so worth doing regularly. But don't put pressure on yourself to do it in 30 minutes. I highly suggest tomorrow morning, grab a cup of coffee and spend 20 minutes in the morning looking over this. Yeah? And for someone, apologies if I say it wrong, like Xinyi, if someone's figuring out your life purpose, figure out a little bit, write it down. The next day, figure out a little bit more, write it down. Actually writing it out, so valuable. I have a journal or a book. Every morning, I sit out with my book. I journal a little bit. As I'm going through a transition process, I'm writing out. If I can write out limiting beliefs, I can write out the new beliefs. And in the following days or weeks, all the new beliefs I write out become embodied and come into my system. Because our system doesn't actually create reality, it affects reality. Either way, our perception affects our reality, right? So we need to believe in what we're doing. And sometimes it takes steps. It takes work. So if we're looking at bigger goals and life purpose, it takes time. Couple of little metaphors here. When I go and speak on TEDx or speak in front of a bunch of people, I don't feel fear. I feel excitement. I love being on stage or lecturing at a university. I love that stuff. That's what I want to do more of. Do I want to do sales and marketing? No. Do I want to take a selfie of my meal? Do I want to take a photograph of me on the beach? No. I don't want to do a selfie. I don't want to take photographs of my food. Do I want to turn on my Facebook every day and write something? Hell no. So I have a wonderful assistant. I have a wonderful team. I started a community because I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted to lead, but I also recognized that other people can lead as well. I realized that a lot of the people coming to our sessions have so much value to offer people. That's why Motivate Community said, hey, let's invite other people up to the stage. I'll come in, I'll lead by example, I'll do what I'm passionate about. And next week, we have a wonderful speaker, Sophia. Sophia did our training, 5 years ago. And Sophia's from Portugal. She'll share next week. Soon after that, we're going to have Paula. We'll have Darko again. We'll have Jay again. If you want to learn how to really automate your brain, I have not found anything better than NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Program. I've never found anything better. Now, I don't sell Chiang Mai anymore because I rather sell Chris's. Anyone goes on the graduate certificate, you can have me as a mentor or coach for you. You'll also walk away with a level 8 graduate certificate in Neuro-Linguistic Programming. This is recognized because it's Australian university, right? Yeah. Only this isn't an Australian university. It's private sector. This is the only graduate certificate of NLP in the world. So rather than doing marketing, rather than taking selfies of my food, I work with Chris. I work with the grad certificate program. I found another way. Instead of me selling my stuff, I'll sell and promote his. 1, he's more experienced than me. 2, he spent 5 years making the online version of his course, yeah? 3, he brings John Grinder to Australia. Steve Andreas, rest in peace, Chris brought him to Australia. So by partnering with Chris, I don't have to do sales and marketing. I get to do mentoring. I get to coach coaches. I help people be excellent. By partnering up with him, I don't have to do the shit I don't like. Consider who you can collaborate with and who you can partner with, because collaboration is key. When you start with the wheel of life thing or you do the scorecard system, when you do that, you can also collaborate with yourself. A part of you may want to have more fun. A part of you may want to get through the work. So we collaborate with ourselves. I'll get through the work and then I'll have fun. We can set up our life for more success. We just got to take a little while to plan. I'm going to do a 1-minute sales pitch for this. 2014 were these 2 pictures. The top left was just before my daughter was born. In this picture, there's 2 men with no hair. One is Chris Collingwood, who runs the grad certificate. The other one is Damien. He is the president of the ICF, the International Coaching Federation. So I met Damien around 2012, Damien Goldvarg, and he came to Shanghai at the same time Chris Collingwood was in Shanghai, and I got to get these guys together. So I brought the president of the International Coaching Federation and Chris Collingwood graduate student together for dinner. And in the red shirt is Daniel Smith. He started the China NLP Society. Down below, we've got Tillman. And in the bottom picture, this is 2014. I got Klaus, NLP master practitioner, I believe. He trained with myself and Daniel. Aaron, the African-American there, he took over the China NLP Society. He's an NLP trainer in Berlin. And in the left, Shintaro, a phenomenal NLP trainer from Tokyo. So I've got a lot of these guys together to collaborate. And I love the collaboration. Next week, we're going to have Sophia. And she's specifically talking about archetypes and the collective unconscious. And I can tell you, archetypes is a wonderful collaboration as well. That'll make sense next week. Now I can see the chat window. And what on earth is going on in our chat window, guys? I don't know. Dump his girlfriend, quit his job. OMG. Thanks, shall we? Got no idea what's happening in the chat window there. Okay, so the number one reason people don't get what they want, they haven't clarified and focused on what they want. They're too busy focusing on what they don't want. If we go through our entire life focused on what we want, we will create the most amazing things. We create the most amazing things by focusing on what we want. The last time I had a major crisis, I was struggling with that. My mind went to, oh, what if that happens? Oh, what if that happens? Called up one of my best friends and he said, Adrian, just keep focused on what you want. And a miracle occurred. But these miracles happen all the time. The more you focus on what you want, like me walking into Jackie and say, hey, Jackie, I want a hostel and I want fun. The more I focus on what I want, the more Jackie and other people will help me have a fantastic holiday. But if people don't know what you want, it's going to be hard for them to guess. Now, you might like to talk about a God or a universe, but God and universe are going to find it hard to give us what we want if we don't know it. Plus, if we don't know it, if we don't clarify it, how will we actually see it? How will we actually see it? At the moment, we can see so much. Can anyone here see infrared? Infrared exists, but we can't see it. Us as humans, we have technology to see this color range. The color range keeps going. We just can't define it. We see this color range. Our life is limited to this color range just because we can see it. Infrared exists, but we can't see it, yeah? Some of the things you want are going to be like infrared. Some things you want are like infrared. They're just around the corner, but you can't see it because we don't have the technology to see it. But once we define it and we say we're looking for infrared, we might just get the technology to find the infrared or know someone that has infrared. A lot of the most amazing things we want in life are just around the corner, but we don't have the technology to see it yet. If we believe we can, we can. If we don't believe, we won't even look around the corner. Beliefs are incredibly important. But we also want to know, what do we want to believe? So with that, I've got a final question. Final question. Do you have, or do you know, maybe one or two beliefs that you want to install? Are there one or two things you want to install? What's a new belief you want? Yeah, anyone? Yeah. What's a belief you want? Leo? She's going to write it.
I wanted to say, I wanted to type it, that to have success without hard work, without working hard.
So in some words, you want to believe you can have a lot more success without hard work?
Yeah.
Do you believe you can?
Yes.
I believe you can.
Yeah, I've started already.
Completely believe you can. Right? So she's maybe Leah has this belief and it's on like this the edge, but she's going to make it more strong. And in the coming days, she's going to take on this belief and she knows how to. She's going to make this belief a lot stronger. Now, if Leah believed that she had to work really hard to make more success, that would be such a trap. Guys, you don't have to work really hard to get strong success. You might just have to partner with the right people. Maybe you just got to link up two friends. Yeah. So it's very valuable to believe that you can create more success easily. I can create much more success easily. I want to play with that a little bit, Leah. So Leah's going to play with that, and you play with something that feels right for you. It's okay if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it's got to feel right for you. And if it doesn't quite feel right, give it a couple of days, say it a couple of times, play it in a mirror, change with some of the words, right? The NLPers, they've got all kinds of ways to jiggle words around. Nothing's worse than a really fat person, a really big fat person looking in the mirror going, I'm skinny. The mirror says back, bullshit. Right? But if we get into affirmations, we want to be able to say, I want this. Yeah? Or I believe I can get more success easily. We don't want to say I can get more success and not work hard, because that not work hard, it's the negative. It's that working hard negative, right? So I can get more success easily, naturally. Someone else share a belief? Sunny?
Hi, I believe I can successful because I believe. Okay.
All right, Sunny, I couldn't quite get that. Can you write it in the chat window?
Okay.
Now, one of the things with neurolinguistic programming is we have the best toolkit in the world for beliefs. In neurolinguistic programming, we actually spend a lot of time figuring out beliefs. Nothing gets into beliefs more than NLP. I've never seen anything in the world that gets more into beliefs, how beliefs are structured, how to manipulate beliefs. And a lot of this belief stuff is logical because you write it out on pen and we can navigate and manipulate the words. And then after we get this amazing sentence in the words, we get the feeling and we get all the somatic intelligence. The somatic intelligence in many ways is superior, but wouldn't you rather have both the somatic and the logical? Funny, the next workshop I'm doing, the next workshop is called Breath and Brains. Breath about the spiritual, about the feeling, and the brains about making the logic work. Now, one thing that may help you on your journey is archetypes, which Sophia is talking about last week. Does anyone know about archetypes? Yeah, I see a couple of nods. Yeah, archetypes is like universal language, universal energy. I have a friend who's a real warrior. He can step into the warrior energy, and yes, he is ex-defense. I think he was infantry. He's got really good warrior energy. He can step in and be a really good warrior. He can step out. So he can step into that archetype of the warrior and be an excellent warrior. And then he can get out of it, right? There are lots of archetypes, and Sophia is going to share them next week, and I look forward to seeing more of you there. We're going to wrap up now, but I've got one more final picture. And one is in the chat window. And there's one final picture for the night. Don't give up on your dreams. But guys, we might need to reevaluate them. We might need to reevaluate them because society has lied to us. It's not about getting to Hollywood. It's not about being a superstar. It's not about having thousands of people screaming and throwing flowers on stage and blessing you. Society has given us some misinformation. So we may have to readjust our dreams a bit, but don't give up on our dreams, all right? Don't give up, just readjust. We readjust by being aware of our intention. If we go around continually asking ourselves, what's our intention? What's our intention? We will evolve much faster. Make sense? Keep asking ourselves, what's our intention? But I don't know, whatever you got out of value today, I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you keep growing, and I know you will. Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live, free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.